Okay, Zen, this video is for you potentially if this works. I'm not sure if it will, but we're going to test it, okay? I'm going to drain all of the air out of the top valve. That doesn't take very long because there's not much air in that top valve. We are going to lay the V11 on its side. Let's stand over there. All right, so we're going to lay it on the side. I already have the saddle off this side. Even though I'm not 100%, well, yeah, you do have to take the saddle off. You definitely do. All right, I already have the cap off here. So now we're going to drain all the air out of this as well. Ooh. I didn't know that was in there. I just got splooged on. Did not know the shock was filled with, I assume that's an oil of some sort. Okay. Now, where did I put my parts? There is a big wrench that is part of what they give you. I know I have it around here somewhere. This is the big wrench I'm talking about. Now, I watched the Inmotion teardown video, and they tore down all kinds of shit before they took the shock out. But I don't know that you have to, based on what I was watching. So just bear with me here. I'm going to see if I can loosen this. Keep in mind all the air is out. It's out of the system. All right, that actually turns out that's not that hard to turn out. Okay. Yeah, look, that wasn't that tight at all. All right, so we're going to turn this off. And if this works, then you owe me a beer or something. Let's just make sure that that is totally drained of air. Sure seems it. You know what? We're going to drain the other side. All right. Yeah, I drained both sides because, and it makes sense, because even though you have one empty, the other one is still exerting pressure on this. So now we have all of the pressure out of the system. Wow, this is really, okay. Wow, Zen. All right. Okay, that's out. Up top here, same deal. This is the wrench that they include. There's just a nut up here, and I probably would have been better served to do this one first because it wants to spin. All right, now it's coming. All right. Has a little lock washer there. I think this might work, guys. And if it does, that's a great thing, because that means that if you do get shock damage, it's not a major hassle to swap it out. All right, lock washer off. This should just come right out. Ta-da! And now, Zen, you can spin this all the way off, okay? Spin it all the way off. So basically the way you were describing it is it was pushed in. I'm wondering if really what happened was just this got pushed out. Like if you take this apart and you still have about this much showing, maybe you just need to screw this in more, dude, because this is actually threaded on here. So check it out. That is all that's involved with taking that shock out. Very, very cool. I see no markings on it, no identifiers whatsoever. So now we're just going to stick it back in very carefully. Let's see how hard that is. Okay, that's not hard at all. And there is still a little bit of residual pressure here, so you're going to need to compress it to get it started. I'm going to put this top bolt back on. So if nothing else, then you can definitely get the shock out without a lot of hassle, that's good news, man. It's good news indeed. All right, so I got that started now. I'm kind of surprised that there's still that much pressure in here, even though I drained all the air pressure, but I guess there still is some residual pressure in the system. So I'm trying to push it and screw at the same time. All right, this might take a little finagling. I need to keep pressure inward while I'm screwing it until it catches a couple threads. So let me see if I can figure that out. Okay, I got it started. I just sort of stayed in the end here and just pushed in a little harder and then just turned it, and I was able to get it started. So now at this point, I should be able to just crank this baby back in. If you see here, there is a little rubber O-ring right at the bottom. And based on the amount of force that it took to turn this loose, you don't want to crank it real hard. You'd crush that washer. It was not in impact wrench tight at all. It came loose pretty easily. All right, so I'm going to put this back together, put some air back in, and just make sure everything's still cool. Okay, got the bottom snugged up again. I need to tighten the top. top as well. I would say that this is another thing that we're going to need to make sure that we're checking on a regular basis. You know, because I could see in you know, a lot of vibration, and depending on the kind of riding you're doing, it could work that loose possibly over time. So I need to make sure you just check that once in a while as part of routine maintenance. Certainly can't hurt, right? All right, let me just snug this up here real quick. Again, this top one, this has a lock washer behind it, but it wasn't, it was tight, but it wasn't super tight. Okay, top is secured again. So now let's just make sure that we can still add air to the system. Right here is the chart I was referring to as far as pressure. You can, let's see if I can do this without, there we go. Just freeze the video if you want to see the numbers. Okay, let's put some air back in. Oh wow, yeah, here we go. Can you see it? As I'm doing this, the suspension is rising as it should. I'm gonna put about the same as I had in there before. Looks good. Push the valve back down to disconnect. And you still want to try to turn it off as quick as possible. Okay, there we go. Put these less than impressive valve cap cover back on. And there you go. Just make believe I had a new shock. We just replaced it, guys, with not much effort at all. All right, I'm gonna put some air in the top and call it good. Okay, we're gonna just quickly slide the saddle back on. It's really easy. Saddle. At first, when I heard that, oh man, you gotta take the saddle off to adjust the top valves. What a pain. It's not, guys. It's pretty trivial, to be quite honest with you. Put these two screws in low. Put the 4 back in up top, and you're good to go. According to Inmotion, the top valves, the negative chamber doesn't need to be messed with much. Their catch-all number that they recommended was around 50 psi. You know, if you had to get in there more often, you could, but it's not like it's all that difficult to do. Okay, there we go, and done. The wheel lives. It still works. That's a wonderful thing. All right, guys. That's really cool. I am glad I watched the tear apart video that Inmotion published and that EcoDrift published. And in both of those situations, when they tore down the wheel, they took the shock out pretty late in the process. And my initial thought was, oh man, that would suck if you have to go through all that to change the shock. Turns out you don't, so that's great. That's great news. I'm also interested, like just like the S18, this is a standard form factor, I believe. So there is the option that you could possibly put a different shock in here easily if you wanted to. So it's going to be interesting to see what the community comes up with over time. So if you found this video interesting, please give it a big thumbs up. If this is your first time visiting the channel, think about subscribing. And if you're going to think about subscribing, you can also think about hitting that notify bell, because everybody loves the notify bell. It feels so, I don't know, it's just a pleasing sensation to press the notify bell. And plus you get notified of all future videos when you do that. So feel free to leave your comments, suggestions, ideas, and thoughts below. Still love my V11. Even if you saw this slight issue I'm dealing with right now, love this wheel. I love it. That's all I have for you for now, guys. Till next time, Duffman out. I just love it when a plan comes together. Doesn't happen that often. How cool are these tables, guys? Watch. Done.